Power Book 3, Season 2, Episode 3. We're in the aftermath of the big death of Scrappy Doo, or whatever you want to call him, Scrip. Whoa, down and nail. News is filtering through, they're passing it off as a suicide, which I think makes the most sense for them to pass it off as, because blaming it on Unique at this stage of the game don't make enough sense. So we'll have to wait and see how that storyline goes. But yeah, Kanan, he isn't really digging this. He isn't really digging that Scrap killed himself, but him and Famous then steal a few drugs and then start selling them via the mixtapes, which people are getting high off, and then just dropping the mixtapes. So yeah, I wonder how that's going to work. Just leaving behind a complete, evidence trail leading back to yourself with Famous's name written all over it. So that's kind of funny. He does get the whole pep talk for Raquel, like, oh, don't you be speaking to her, they'll say some crazy shit and all that good stuff. Do not listen to him. So that's when we get like the infamous scene. Well, I think infamous, I don't really know how it stacks up, because I've not seen the show before and I don't know what the future holds really. But yeah, Hard obviously speaks to Kanan and pretty much immediately says, I'm your father. I thought you were Def Con's kid. He's like, I know your mom's gonna say I'm crazy and all that shit, but I got the proof. I matched the DNA in the system. You're my boy, Kanan. But doesn't admit that he knows Kanan's the one that shot him. He saves that to the end of the episode, but we'll get there later on. We also see Marvin. He's doing his mad shit, and Marvin's doing his stuff. He's doing his fucking anger management classes that he makes it work. Marvin's just so much like charismatic and got something about him than Lou. I'm not saying Lou, right, is like an awful character, but he's like the most bog standard gangster with a bit of a career on the side that you could have ever dropped. I think the music guy who he's in business with, he's got way more about him, and he even thinks so too, because he wants Lou at the business. So he goes to Raquel, but Raquel's like, well, I can't really do that. Can't really do that right now because they've got a 20 on Unique. And what's happened with Unique this episode? Well, of course, he's not exactly loving life after getting out of jail. It's kind of went downhill, but he's went into the Colombian's house, amigo, the store, and he's took all the money and he's took her. Is he going to make some form of deal? And essentially what the deal is a peace treaty between Unique and her. And it's like, yeah, I want to stay here. But then they're like, everyone will know that we killed Unique if we kill him here. And it's like, really, is that... I don't know, it just seems incredibly shit, is the word. Maybe just blame it on Kanan. And then Hard will try his damnedest to get Kanan off with it or something, but yeah, who knows? Who really knows how it's going to go down? Kanan's then talking to Jukebox, saying that this guy says he's my father and that it wasn't Def Con. But I wonder if Marvin and Lou know. They must know, because... But, well then do they? Hard assumed Def Con was Kanan's father, then he found out about the year thing. But then he also, like, didn't know Def Con was gay, so maybe Def Con had that on lock. But would Marvin and Lou have known that Def Con was gay? And but then if you're gay, it doesn't mean you can't have kids with Raquel. I don't know. Does Raquel want to keep it all quiet? When Kanan confronts her about it after speaking with Jukebox, she kind of like laughs it off. He's like, yeah, he says Jukebox is his fucking twin as well and all that crazy stuff. So we'll have to wait and see how this is going to play out. I mean, Raquel played it off relatively well, but I mean, how well can you continue to play this off at the end of the day? You know, there's only so much you can do. Will the truth come out? Well, I mean, Kanan, like, what can Hard do? Hard told Kanan that he's got the proof, like, their DNA matches. Like, if he shows him that, is Raquel going to be like, oh, he's corrupt, Kanan, he's a cop, he can easily doctor that? Like, how is Hard going to actually prove this? If you know what I mean? Because, I mean, Kanan, I feel sorry for Kanan. You know, he's been fucking manipulated here. His head's getting turned upside his arse by Raquel. I mean, Hard's not doing it as much, but obviously the more he pushes, the more it's going to get twisted. But I totally get Hard at the end of the day. But we also seen scenes with his partner, the detective, kind of talking about with this woman. It looks like they were in a former lesbian relationship. It was the early 90s, and of course these relationships were definitely happening like this. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't happen, because of course they happened, but it's like, come on, like, look at this show, like Jukebox is a lesbian, which we already knew about. Is that not enough for the LGBT community? Why couldn't she just have been, you know, straight? Again, woke tendencies, getting fired straight into that show. But yeah, as I said earlier, Hard does meet with Kanan again, and essentially tells him that, here, I know you're the one that shot me, but I would never let my son take the hitfall for that, so your secret's safe with me, son. And Kanan's like freaking out, hyperventilating. Ugh. Then the whole thing with Unique, essentially he's allowed to stay in South Jamaica Queens, you know. So yeah, is what it is. That's good for him, I guess, but I mean, realistically, what's going to happen? Anyway, guys, I'll give this episode a 6 out of 10. I think season 2 just started a wee bit flat.